Do we have our presenters? Delegate Crotty or Delegate Otto So?
She said, 15 minutes away. And
Is that the only legislation that we're going to be considering today?
yeah, the other one's not ready.
Speaker Damon? Okay,
But I added on members.
yeah, because we didn't know what, so Dana didn't approve it going to a different.
Yeah.
Okay. we should hopefully be at calling her legislation. So we'll go ahead and start. Sherelle with roll call, please.
Good morning, Law and Order Committee members, and everyone here in attendance. Roll call for Law and Order Committee, 25th Nomination Council, April meeting, July 12th, 2023. Honorable Madam Chair Eugenia Charles Newton.
I am present.
Thank you, Honorable Madam Chair Eugenia Charles Newton is present. Honorable Vice Chair Sherilyn Yazzie.
I'm here.
Thank you, Honorable Vice Chair Sherilyn Yazzie is present. Honorable Herman and Daniel Fleener.
Good morning, President.
Thank you, Honorable Herman and Daniel Fleener is present. Honorable Nathan Nota.
I'm here, yes.
Thank you, Honorable Nathan Nota is present. Honorable Stephen Arvizo.
Delegate Arvizo is excused. Delegate Arvizo did speak to me last week and asked to be excused this week. I believe that also would extend to his to this special meeting.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Stephen Arvizo is excused. With that, Madam Chair, Charleston, we have 4 members present, which constitutes quorum, Madam Chair.
Thank you for that, Sherelle. So with that, committee members, we do have a quorum present with 4 members who are here today in the Law and Order Committee building. So thank you all for being here. We'll go ahead and proceed forward at this time to invocation. Delegate Nathan Nota, can you assist us with invocation this morning?
Good morning, Yate. Yate to the staff, to the fellow delegates that are here and our guests. We have a intern, I think, with us here today as well. Madam Chair, the rest of the committee members, Yate, then Yate kudo Nastan Shema Shishongo Nicole. They had Zimbi Haditi should start Nido the Nye has second leader. You have so she had the Law and Order Committee, but no, he not should long be never care. Not could be yet so it nasty me can't be those what I had this been high any be yet he not unrenegade that he and read all this. I don't ask for has Kagi, though I don't that is not Sagi. I asked for Shabik didn't even read all this, but I have seen read all this. Adodi Kodo, our travels, Ado they the people of the Navajo Nation, and when he shall bless the name of Rido. But I anja has sido deep in a high anibia. Your name, Jesus Christ, your day. When that's the shady need to do this. Cool. Amen.
I have Delegate Nathan Nota. Thank you for your prayers this morning and for praying for all of the Navajo people and the committee and the work that is being done on behalf of the Navajo people. So we appreciate that, Delegate Nota. So we'll go to move forward to item number 2, recognizing guests and visiting officials. Because this is a special meeting, what I will do is normally we do allow committee members as well as people who are in the room to introduce themselves and then to also, tell us their clans. But because we are in a special meeting, I hate to say this, guys, but we have to be done by 10 because I think Hess is having their committee meeting here in this building. So for that reason, what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and allow everyone to just say who for the record, who is here. And then we'll proceed from there. So just your name and that you're here. We'll start with Miss Shirley.
Okay. Good morning. I've been Shay Vicky Shirley and I'm the Chinle Agency representative from the Office of the President and Vice President.
Thank you, Ms. Shirley, for letting us know that you are here. And again, this is for the record. This meeting is being recorded.
Good morning. My name is Heidi Lucas. I'm an intern with
Heidi Lucas, did you say? Okay. And you're an intern?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning. My name is Karen Thompson. I'm the legislative assistant for Health Education and Service Committee.
Oh, just here early, huh?
Oh, good morning. My name is Blanca Henderson. I am with the Office of Legislative Counsel. And I am the advisor for the Law and Order Committee. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, my name is Sharon Luta. I'm the legislative assistant for Law and Order Committee.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jalissa Johnson. I'm the policy analyst with the Office of Legislative Services.
Good morning, Maureen Spencer, with Legislative Services, Legislative Advisor for the Law and Order Committee.
Good morning, Herman Daniels, Law and Order Committee member, representative, Western Agency. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Chair for Law and Order Committee, Eugenia Charles Newton, representing the Northern Agency, the Shiprock community, and all Navajo people on and off the Navajo Nation.
Good morning, my name is Nathan Nota. I will represent District 14 and Fort Defiance Agency on the Law and Order Committee.
Good morning, my name is Cheryl Yazzie. Thank you.
So with that, we have everyone who has introduced themselves for the record, who are currently here in the Law and Order Committee building. We'll move to item number 3 on the agenda, review and adopt the agenda. Lorraine, can you read the agenda into the record, please?
Yes, Madam Chair and members of the Law and Order Committee. Agenda of the Law and Order Committee, 25th Navajo Nation Council, special meeting in person, July 12th, 2023, 9 a.m. presiding Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton, Chairperson, Honorable Shirley Yazzie, Vice Chairperson, Location Law and Order Committee, Office Room, Window Rock, Arizona. 1, call meeting to order, roll call and invocation. Number 2, recognize guests and visiting official. Number 3, review of agenda. Number 4, review and adopt the journal, there's none. 5, receiving reports, none. 6, old business, none. 7, new business. A, legislation number 0147-23, sponsored by Honorable Amber Canasta Crotty. B, legislation number 0139-23, sponsored by Honorable Seth Bayman. C, discussion, schedule meeting with Tehachapi chapter officials, Tehachapi, New Mexico, set date, place, and time. 8, close of meeting, announcement and adjournment, Madam Chair.
Thank you for that, Lorraine. So with that, committee members, the agenda has been read into the record. Can I get a motion and a second at this time?
Motion.
Motion made by Delegate Herman Daniels,
Second,
second made by Delegate Nathan Nota. So with that, committee members, the agenda is before us. This is a special meeting. Committee members, just as a recap, we were asked to hold a special meeting by Office of Legislative Counsel to consider legislation number 0147-23, as well as legislation number 0139-23. However, 0139-23, because it has not been heard by Health, Education, Human Services, as you can see from the agenda, Law and Order Committee is the second committee to consider this legislation. So this legislation technically cannot be heard by this committee this morning. So I am willing to entertain a motion to amend the agenda to remove item B, legislation number 0139-23 from the agenda. And then we can go ahead and proceed forward, or if the committee members want to leave the item on the agenda, it will be reflected for future meetings. And the question might be, why did we not consider the legislation? How would the committee like to proceed?
Question.
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Delegate Daniels?
Yes, in regards to the agenda, legislation 139-23. This legislation, it's assigned to HES Committee, Law and Order, Budget and Finance, and Council. So this legislation doesn't need to go before HES Committee first
Yes,
and Law and Order.
yes.
I have a legislation, 143. And it's assigned to Budget and Finance Committee first, HES Committee, NOB and Council. Yesterday, I posed a question to Dana, Ms. Barbara, Chief Legislative Counsel. I asked her, do I need to go before Budget and Finance Committee first? And HES after that, or can I go before HES? But that should be needed. Either way should be needed.
Loya?
This is Loya with Legislative Council, so, and there's Dana probably right there.
Dana, we hear your beeps. We recognize them. Are you on the call, Dana?
Yes, I am. And indeed, on that particular legislation, I did tell Delegate Daniels that it could go to either. But if you saw my email last night, I did qualify that if he wants to go to Hess first, I need to get Speaker to reorder that legislation. It will only take a second to do that. Today, as you're aware, is a really challenging day, as that there are all 4 committees are meeting, and there's legislation that have to go to one or more committees today. Law and Order Committee is the safe committee today. It's not your world, but everybody else is. So this is just for Delegate Daniels. Delegate Daniels, if you want to go to Hess first, then I will need to reorder, just reorder the legislation. That'll only take a second, but it does need to go through Speaker's office. If you want to go to B and F first, then nothing needs to happen. The only challenge is trying to figure out whose agenda is and who will hear the legislation first. And I did in my email last night request the Budget and Finance Committee and Hess to put your legislation as early on their agendas as possible. So once they meet, once they establish their agendas, then we'll know a little bit better, Delegate Daniels, as to which committee you should be at. And just be aware I'm what we'll call monitoring all of the committee meetings today. Back to you, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Dana. And so, you're welcome to come in, Delegate Toll. We're having a special Law and Order Committee meeting to consider the legislation sponsored by Delegate Crotty. So we'll be done by 10 when Hess takes over. So you're good. So in terms of legislation number 0139-23, Dana, can we ask, have you guys reached out to the sponsor to ask if LOC should consider the legislation before Hess?
I can answer that.
Loya?
This is Loya.
Sorry.
Oh,
Conversations with Delegate Damon are that he is in no hurry on that legislation, that he would actually like to have a work session before it progresses that much farther. So my understanding is that there is not a requirement for or even a desire, I guess we should say, for Law and Order Committee to hear that legislation today. It's still at Hess.
Thank you for that, Dana. So with that, committee members, I'm willing to entertain a motion to amend the agenda to remove legislation number 0139-23 off the agenda. How would the committee like to proceed?
I'll make that motion then, after hearing what we heard, to remove the legislation 0139-23.
So with that, motion has been made to amend the agenda. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
With that, we do have a second. Committee members, are there any questions regarding amendment number 1, which is to amend the agenda to remove item 7B from the agenda, legislation number 0139-23. We did hear directly from Office of Legislative Counsel that the sponsor, Speaker Damon, is not rushing to get this legislation onto the summer session, and he wants to hold a work session. So I think that gives us some time. So with that, committee members, are there any questions or any comments to the amendment? Or any further amendments that need to be made to the agenda? Okay, not hearing anything. Let's go ahead and proceed to the vote for amendment number one. Motion has been established by Vice Chair Sherilyn Yazzie, second by Delegate Nathan Nota. Cheryl, roll call vote, please.
Honorable Herman and Daniels, Jr., how do you vote?
Green.
Thank you, Honorable Herman and Daniels, Jr. votes green. Honorable Nathan Nota, how do you vote?
I agree.
Thank you, Honorable Nathan Nota votes green. Honorable Vice Chair Sherilyn Yazzie, how do you vote?
Green.
Thank you, Honorable Vice Chair Sherilyn Yazzie votes green. Honorable Stephen Aviso is excused. Honorable Madam Chair Charles Mooney, have 3 in favor, 0 opposed, and Madam Chair Charles Mooney not voting.
Thank you for that, Cheryl. So with that, the majority of this committee has voted for amendment number one. Amendment one does pass. We'll go ahead and we're back to the main motion. Main motion has been established by Delegate Herman Daniels, second by Delegate Nathan Nota. Committee members, are there any further amendments to the agenda that need to be made at this time? Okay, not hearing anything. Yes.
How far is Amber? Delegate Crotty, and I'm wondering if we could move item C up first.
We definitely can do that. I think Delegate Crotty did text us to say that she was 15 minutes out. And that was at 9:04. So technically she should have been here, or she should be coming in here shortly. So I think by the time we get to her legislation, we can, she will be here. If not, then what we can do is we can just move to the next item without making any amendments to the agenda. So with that, are there any other amendments to the agenda? Okay, not hearing anything. Lorraine, can we go ahead and do a second reading for the record? And then we'll go ahead and go straight to roll call vote.
Okay, Madam Chair and members of the Law and Order Committee. So, new business B is deleted off the agenda. So you only have 2 items. A is legislation number 0147-23. And B will be discussion schedule meeting with Tehachapi chapter official, Tehachapi, New Mexico, which will be to set date, time, place. And that only the only one amendment that's done by LOC.
Thank you for that. So with that, committee members, with only one amendment, the amendment and the change in the agenda has been read into the record. We're going to go straight to roll call vote at this time. Cheryl?
Honorable Herman and Daniels, Jr., how do you vote?
Green.
Thank you, Honorable Herman and Daniels, Jr. votes green. Honorable Nathan Nota, how do you vote?
Agreed.
Thank you, Honorable Nathan Noto votes green. Honorable Vice Chair Sherilyn Yazzie, how do you vote?
Green.
Thank you, Honorable Vice Chair Sherilyn Yazzie votes green. Honorable Stephen Arvizo is excused. Honorable Madam Chair Charles Newton. You have 3 in favor, 0 opposed, and Madam Chair Charles Newton not voting.
Thank you for that, Cheryl. 3 in favor, 0 opposed, 2 not voting. We have an agenda set before the Law and Order Committee at this time. We're going to proceed forward to item number 4, review and adopt the journals. There is none. Item number 5, receiving reports. There is none. Item number 6, old business. There is none. Item number 7, we do have new business legislation number 0147-23. For the record, I will go ahead and call the sponsors to ask if they are in attendance. Delegate Amber Crotty or Delegate or Speaker Otto So. Second call, Delegate Amber Crotty, Speaker Otto So. Are you in attendance? Last and final, Delegate Amber Crotty, Speaker Otto So. Not hearing anything. Well, what we can do, and Vice Chair, I know you did ask this question, so what we'll do is we'll just move on to the next item on the agenda, and when the sponsor comes in, any delegate can ask to go back to that part of the agenda. So we'll move to item B, discussion, schedule meeting with Tehachapi chapter officials, Tehachapi, New Mexico, to set a date, time, place, and time. I do need a motion and a second for this discussion item.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Delegate Nathan Nota. Can I get a second? Second made by Vice Chair Sherilyn Yazzie. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the floor over at this time to Delegate Nathan Nota to, I guess, discuss this or to bring this discussion item to the floor of the Law and Order Committee.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. Law and Order Committee members. I do say it all the time, I represent District 14, and that includes Tohatchi. It includes Nas Chitty, Mexican Springs, Cayuga Canyon, and Twin Lakes. And as we discussed on Monday, we are on the list to possibly receive a public safety building, as is shown behind me with the green tag. I have talked to people in my district, not only the officials, but also the staff on numerous occasions, and they have a lot of questions over what's taken place over the last several years regarding this public safety building. I think all the presidents in my district felt like it was a done deal in the past. They thought we were going to be at least have groundbreaking within this past year or so. And I'd like to take this law and order meeting to my chapter, my district, to be able to have my constituents be able to ask questions, all the questions that they have. I mean, I've been bombarded with many, and I'd like to have the backing of the Law and Order Committee to let them know that we are working on this. We are moving forward with this. We're doing the best that we can in relation to this. And for that reason, Madam Chair, I would like to schedule a meeting with Law and Order at the Tohatchi Chapter House. And I will let all of District 14 know that we will be meeting there once we fit the schedule. So that would be my request.
Okay, thank you for that, Delegate Nota. So committee members, let's go ahead and pull out our calendar book. This is not a special meeting that Delegate Nota is asking for. It's a regular Law and Order Committee meeting at this time. The Law and Order Committee meeting for July 24th that was scheduled to take place with Health Education, Human Services. We did have to cancel that because we have 3 members of Law and Order Committee that are no, why did we cancel the 24th? Because no, it's because the DBHS is closed. Yeah, so the Division of Behavioral Health Services in Shiprock, the last update that we received is that they were closed. And the 24th, we do have a Law and Order Committee meeting that will be taking place in Chinle. The 31st, that was when we were supposed to have a special meeting with HES at DBHS in Shiprock, but because of the closure, we actually had to postpone that until the building is opened, because I think their HVAC system went out, which means we would be sitting in a sauna if we were to go. And I don't think anybody wants to sit in a sauna right now. So right now we do have July 24th that's taken, where we're going to be in Chinle. The other option is Delegate Tolf. I'm glad that you're here. The Law and Order Committee voted to have a meeting in your area as you requested. We'll be meeting there August 14th. We just don't know which chapter we're going to be meeting at, but it will be a regular Law and Order Committee to meet with your chapter. So that's August 14th. So we have August 21st, August 28th, and then we go into September, but also be mindful, committee members. I believe that the BIM booklet is coming out today. Am I correct on that, Delegate Crotty?
It may. There's a lot of revisions that need to be done, so we'll see. It's on its second attempt today.
So the BIM booklet becomes very important because we have to have a scheduled budget meeting for Law and Order Committee, and that's usually a week-long process. So we may have to, depending on when the calendar comes out, I guess our August meetings would be a little bit flexible based on the budget calendar coming out. So I did speak with speaker this morning to let her know that because we have TIBIC 3 members are going to be at TIBIC 3 members of LOC, because we have been voted on to be TIBIC members, that we're going to be gone for a week. And then we have the next week, the Office of Violence Against Women, the consultation that's taking place in Tulsa. We talked about that, the Monday's LOC meeting. So if there's LOC members who are going to be attending that the week of August 7th, there's the opening of August 14th and the week of August 14th and the 21st to hold budget meetings if need be. But because we're still waiting on the BIM booklet to come out, it's very difficult to say when we're going to be having these budget meetings. So with that being said, Delegate Nota, is there any idea on when you'd want to have the meeting?
Madam Chair, could I request August the 28th?
Okay. And that's at what chapter?
Tohatchi chapter.
Okay, committee members, in terms of discussion, scheduling a meeting with Tohatchi chapter officials in Tohatchi, New Mexico, the date that has been selected is August 28th, which is a regular Law and Order Committee meeting. A place has been selected and the time is already pre-selected based on the Navajo Nation Code, which would be at 10 o'clock in the morning. So with that, a motion was established by Delegate Nathan Nota, a second by Vice Chair Sherilyn Yazzie. Are there any questions or any, we're open for debate at this time regarding the date? Committee members?
Just a question, so, or a clarification, so that day you won't do the title?
Yeah, so Title 17.
That's all I need.
Okay, not hearing anything. Sherelle, can you assist us with the roll call vote, please?
Honorable Herman Bennett, Anthony Wright.
Green.
Thank you, Honorable Herman Bennett, votes green, Honorable Nathan Nota, how do you vote?
Agree.
Thank you, Honorable Nathan Nota, votes green, Honorable Vice Chair Carolyn Maggie, how do you vote? Green. Thank you, Honorable Vice Chair Carolyn Maggie, votes green, Honorable Stephen Ivey, excluded, Honorable Madam Chair, Councilman, you have three in favor, zero opposed. Madam Chair, Councilman, not voting.
Thank you for that, Sherelle. So 3 in favor, 0 opposed, 2 not voting. A majority of the committee has voted. So with the date is set to visit with Tohatchi chapter on August 28th at 10 o'clock a.m. Thank you for that, committee members. So with that, committee members, going back on the agenda, the sponsor is here. Legislation number 0147-23. How would the committee like to proceed?
Would like to hear the legislation.
Okay, so with that, legislation number 0147-23, Delegate Crotty, thank you for being here with us today. Lorraine, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get that legislation read into the record. And then after that, committee members, I'll call for a motion in a second. Lorraine?
Okay, Madam Chair and members of the Law and Order Committee. Tracking number 0147-23, relating to Law and Order Committee, non-ESC Committee, and the Nomination Council, amending Title II of the Nomination Code, codified virtual attended by council delegates at standing committee meetings and Navajo Nation Council. It will move forward to nomination committee and nomination council. So attached are documents of CMY 4520, which is Exhibit A, and then following that, there's Exhibit 1, resolution of the Commission on Emergency Management. 1A exhibit is also the nomination declared public health state of emergency for COVID-19. And then following that is Exhibit 2, which is a memorandum from Seth Lehman to legislative grant regarding nomination travel advisory. Exhibit 3, which is a memorandum from Seth Lehman and signed by Daniel Easto as speaker pro temp. And then following that is also a exhibit 4, which is CNA 04-20. It's a resolution of the nomination council. Following that is also another document. And then exhibit A that I'll include with the legislation. Exhibit B is memorandum dated March 12th, 2020. From David Mann, Health Command Operations Center. And has gone to the 5-day, or lastly, there's Exhibit C. And also gone to the 5-day comment. And there are some comments included in the legislation. There's 6 comments that are opposing. comments and recommendations are all attached to the. Madam Chair.
Thank you for that, Lorraine. So with that, committee members, the legislation has been read into the record. Can I get a motion and a second? Motion made by Delegate Herman Daniels. Can I get a second? Second made by Vice Chair Sherilyn Yazzie. So with this, committee members, as we normally do at Law and Order Committee, there are two ways to handle this legislation. If there are questions from the committee members, we'll turn the floor over to the sponsor to present her legislation. We'll give her 20 minutes. She'll have as many agents as she calls upon to help assist her to answer questions that the committee may pose to her. And we'll vote. Or the other option is if there are no questions, the legislation number 0147-23, we can go ahead and proceed directly to a vote. How would the committee like to proceed? I should ask, are there any questions to legislation number 0147-23? Committee members?
I think there will be questions,
But we're going to save those questions for Nabi.
but we can do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
with that, Delegate Crotty, we're going to go straight to vote on this legislation with no questions. So
Yep.
you don't have to present the legislation. Cheryl, can you assist us with roll call vote?
Honorable Herman and Daniel, student, how do you vote?
Green.
Thank you, Honorable Herman and Daniel, senior votes green. Honorable Nathan Noto, how do you vote?
Green,
Thank you, Honorable Nathan Noto, votes green. Honorable Vice Chair Sherilyn Yazzie, how do you vote? Green. Thank you, Honorable Vice Chair Sherilyn Yazzie, votes green. Honorable Stephen Arvizo is excused. Honorable Madam Chair Charles Green, yes, 3 in favor, 0 opposed, and Madam Chair Charles Green, not voting.
Thank you for that, Cheryl. So with that, committee members, we do have a vote of 3 in favor, 0 opposed, 2 not voting. A majority of the committee has spoken. Legislation number 0147-23 does proceed forward to Nabik-Iatskit Committee. Thank you, Delegate Crotty, for being here. Since your legislation has passed, you're excused from Law and Order Committee.
Appreciate it. Thank you, committee members. Please let me know if there are any questions or amendments that are needed. What we just strive for is to have a collective, comprehensive discussion. So
sure.
whatever's not in the packet, just let me know if you need additional information.
Okay.
Delegate Crotty, I'll state for the record, I was just now reading through the comments. So I'm being credited for this legislation. So just an FYI, I am not the sponsor of this legislation, but it does mention it in the comments. Somebody said that they disagree with me and this legislation. So we still are continuing to be mixed up somehow.
I find that happens often. So we just do our best. Work for our communities.
Thank you for that. So with that, committee members, we are now down to item number 8 on the agenda, close of the meeting. Before we close the meeting, are there any announcements that need to be made at this time? Okay, not hearing anything, committee members, just a really quick announcement, and I'll also be making this announcement at a regular Law and Order Committee meeting. So Speaker and I did have breakfast this morning to discuss the public hearings that we'll be holding for Title 17 in the various communities. So Speaker is offering assistance. Her office is going to be assisting us with these public hearings since it is such an important, it's going to be very, very important. So we're developing a plan at this point, and part of the plan is there's the possibility that we may have to do a special council session for Title 17 because I don't think that we're going to be able to get it through by fall. Don't know if full-term may be a wise decision. But as I stated in a previous meeting that what we could do is do a work session on Wednesday for Title 17, NABI on Thursday, and then go straight to council on Friday. So I did present that option to Speaker. And so the good thing is we do have Speaker's commitment to assist us with the public hearings. So we did meet on that, and I will let the committee know that we will be proceeding forward with public hearings on Title 17. That's the only announcement that I have at this time, aside from our next in-person meeting will be scheduled July 24th, and this is going to be at Chinle. So if there's no other announcement, committee members, we'll go ahead and I'll entertain a motion and a second for adjournment.
So moved.
Motion made by Delegate Nathan Nota. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Second made by Vice Chair Sherilyn Yazzie. Motion to adjourn at 9:47. Cheryl, can you assist us with roll call vote, please?
Honorable Herman Daniels, you have a vote.
Green.
Thank you, Honorable Herman Daniels, Junior votes green. Honorable Nathan Notes, how do you vote?
I agree.
Thank you, Honorable Nathan Notes, votes green. Honorable Vice Chair Sherilyn Yazzie, how do you vote? Green. Thank you, Honorable Vice Chair Sherilyn Yazzie, votes green. Honorable Stephen Arvizo is excused. Honorable Madam Chair Charles Green, you have 3 in favor, 0 opposed, and Madam Chair Charles Green not voting.
Thank you for that, Sherelle. So with that, committee members, we are hereby adjourned at 9:47 a.m. with a majority vote of the Law and Order Committee members with 3 in favor, 0 opposed, 2 not voting. We'll see you guys all on Monday in Chinle, and thank you for attending this special Law and Order Committee meeting. You're all excused.
Deal.